In a quiet town, surrounded by coal-blackened hills, lived a boy named Ethan Cole. His father was a miner, just like his grandfather and great-grandfather before him. In that town, your future wasn't chosen. It was inherited. Boys grew into miners, girls into homemakers, and no one dared to imagine a life beyond the hills. The sky was only checked for storms, never for dreams. But Ethan was different. Each night, while others rested from the day's labor, he would step outside, tilt his head back, and lose himself in the stars. To him, the night sky wasn't just decoration, it was possibility. One autumn night, the town gathered for its small harvest festival. Laughter echoed, lanterns flickered, and fiddles played. Suddenly, the sky split open. A meteor blazed across the heavens, brighter than any firework they had ever seen. The townspeople gasped, then quickly returned to their dancing and chatter. But Ethan stood frozen, breathless, as if the universe had whispered directly to him. That falling star wasn't just a spectacle, it was a message. The world was bigger than this valley, and maybe, just maybe, he was meant to reach for it. That night, long after the festival ended, Ethan sat at his desk by candlelight, sketching shapes of rockets on scraps of paper. His hand trembled, but his mind was burning with possibility. From the next morning on, Ethan was consumed. He filled page after page with rocket sketches. He begged books from the small-town library, reading about flight, fuel, and physics he barely understood. His father shook his head, muttering that daydreams didn't feed families. His classmates mocked his pipe dreams. Even his teacher sighed, telling him to be realistic. But Ethan refused to let their voices bury his spark. He scavenged the junkyard for scraps of pipe and metal, hammering pieces together into crude rockets. His first launch sputtered and smoked. His second exploded in a puff of sparks. His third shot 3 feet in the air before nosediving into the mud. Neighbors complained, children laughed. But Ethan learned with every failure, scribbling notes and trying again. One afternoon, after yet another failed launch, Ethan sat on the grass with his head in his hands. He was ready to give up. That's when Mr. Grayson, the town's retired mechanic, walked over. He had been quietly watching from a distance. "You've got determination, kid," Mr. Grayson said, kneeling beside the wrecked rocket. "But determination without knowledge is like a car without wheels." "Let me show you something." Mr. Grayson invited Ethan into his workshop, a place filled with tools, blueprints, and the smell of oil. For the first time, Ethan had someone who believed he wasn't crazy. Night after night, the two studied diagrams, tested fuels, and built together. The boy had finally found a mentor, and with him, a spark of hope. Weeks turned into months. At last, Ethan and Mr. Grayson built a rocket sturdier than anything before. Word spread quickly. "The miner's boy is trying again." This time, nearly the whole town gathered in a grassy field, some ready to laugh, others just curious. Ethan's hands shook as he prepared the fuse. He whispered to himself, "This is for every dream buried under doubt." The crowd hushed. Smoke hissed, fire roared, and the rocket surged upward, higher, faster, straighter than ever before. The people gasped, then erupted into cheers as the rocket disappeared into the clouds. For the first time, Ethan wasn't the boy they laughed at. He was the boy who made the impossible real. That evening at dinner, the room was heavy with silence. Finally, Ethan's father set down his fork, his rough hands folded, his eyes steady. "I don't understand what you're chasing, son," he said slowly, "but today I saw something I've never seen before. You made people believe it wasn't approval, it wasn't surrender." But for the first time, Ethan heard respect in his father's voice. And that respect was enough to keep his fire alive. Ethan knew one rocket wouldn't change the world, but it had changed him. He had proven that even in a place where dreams were buried deep beneath the ground, they could still rise into the sky. The true purpose of chasing the stars wasn't just to escape. It was to inspire others to believe in what's possible. In the years that followed, Ethan's determination carried him far beyond the hills of his hometown. His persistence won him a place at one of the finest engineering colleges in the country. There, he poured himself into his studies, fueled not just by books and machines, but by the memory of every person who once told him he couldn't. Step by step, he grew into a skilled engineer, building rockets not from scraps, but from blueprints that reached for the edge of space. Ethan Cole's journey proves this. You don't need to be born with privilege to touch the sky. You need resilience, courage, and the will to rise. The stars do not belong to someone else. They are waiting for those bold enough to chase them. And maybe the next great story won't be about Ethan Cole. Maybe it will be about you. So keep reaching higher, keep pushing forward, and never forget, the sky is not the limit, it's just the beginning. If this story inspired you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe because your next chapter might be the one we tell next.